Welcome back, everybody, to Unite Mike's Mayhem Season 2, week number 3, the final week before tomorrow, when we have our grand finals. 3 incredible teams waiting there already. But in tonight's event, we have one team waiting on the other side of the winner's side. We have Dark Aura, who just won a fantastic 2 games in a row, and they're going to be playing the winner of this game, which is going to be TTV versus Spinal.
Great little showdown here. TTV and Spinal, 2 squads with tons of names that you'll recognize from, we'll call it year 1 of Pokemon Unite, competitive Pokemon Unite. And happy to have them here in Unite Mike's Mayhem to really, you know, keep turning up the intensity for week 3.
Yes, I'm loving it. But in this game, it is going to be, like we were mentioned, TTV versus Spinal. I think it'll be no exception to our intensity. Some exceptional teams here for sure. Let's see how they're going to operate in draft mode, though. Deuce, next, we are going to need a coin flip from you to decide which team gets the option of they on A side or B side. Let's do TTV as A, Spinal as Team B.
So I'm assuming A is heads.
Sorry, TTV is heads, Spinal is tails. One day.
It'll only take season 3 or season 4 of Unite Mike's to sort the coin flip out, but we'll get there, we promise. Here we go. It's spinning, it's spinning, it's spinning. Heads again. So heads TTV, again. They're gonna get the choice.
Okay, sounds good. They are going to have the option of A side or B side, which essentially means do they want first or do they want second ban?
Correct. So again, for those of you that might be new to the pick ban format, so we're going to go first. We have a ban, 1 pick, and then Spinal will get 2 picks, 2 picks, 2 picks, 1 pick. I think I broke that down correctly. Yeah. What's most important is once it hits 2 picks, it goes 2, 2, 1, 1, however to wrap it up. You get it. You all get it. Come on.
That is very true. Also, I realized I never said that the circles are bands. I thought it was just kind of straightforward, but there we go. We got a new introduction. Also, Green, I will never be mentioning Wigglytuff on this broadcast ever again. By the way, I just want to make that super clear.
Yeah, well, just the most egregious clip of all time. Yeah.
The context hurts for sure. No, jokes aside, I do enjoy Wigglytuff quite a bit. Yes, thank you for breaking down how our draft format is gonna work. I think this is what we're gonna be looking forward to all of season 2 of competitive Pokemon Unite. I love draft mode, and I was actually like an early disbeliever. I was one of those people that was saying that I honestly thought that draft mode wasn't needed in Unite. I like some mirror comps. I've been converted. I'm enjoying draft quite a bit, and I think the teams that have been able to participate in events that are using draft are all feeling the same. I think it is a great way to play. A lot more strategies, more Pokemon, of course, but just more ways to display strategy and knowledge of the game outside of just the 10 minutes of match time.
Without a doubt, it adds layers, no question. But not only does it add layers to the Pokemon themselves, it adds layers to the held items you're bringing to Eos Island. It changes the battle items you're bringing into Thea Sky Ruins in this case. So there you go. TTV is going to put it on Spinal to ban Sableye. This is something we've seen multiple times over, and they're going ahead and they're going to put Blissey on the chopping block, the best support going in the game right now. Kind of a unanimous opinion on that. We've either seen it banned or selected almost first every single time this season.
Yes, yeah, definitely on the chopping block. Also, if you're just tuning in for game number 2, by the way, the only banned Pokemon from the entire event is going to be Scyther, and then just also Scizor, just to cover our bases. I don't want any accidental picks or anything like that, but just due to some bugs. But otherwise, every single Pokemon, including the newest edition of Urshifu, are allowed in this event.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit of Urshifu last week. Wouldn't mind seeing it again. Had a little bit of a rough start here on Unite Mike's Mayhem, but made me a believer once I saw that Wicked Blow get well underway, for sure.
Spinal banning Dodrio, and that is going to allow TTV to first pick the Sableye.
If they want it, and I'm sure Ender has a lot of miles on it, and there you go.
Yeah.
Sableye on the button, no question, right out of the gates, and that's a heck of a sprint that Spinal's going to have to do here to make up for that. And like I've said, if you're not going to ban it, you better have a heck of a plan for it, because it battles on a different axis than any other Pokemon in the game.
Yes, it really does. Spinal does have the chance here for back-to-back picks, our first double pick so far, and they are going to be going with a strategy I love to see, taking that bulk. So they are going to grab Azumarill and Mamoswine as their two selections.
Yeah, just get a lot of brawler. Azumarill is a brawler, and of course, like the high HP, high defense potential of Mamoswine to make it be able to sustain those Sableye-esque engages. Maybe we'll see some full heals as well, but for right now, that's a great way to ensure at least some longevity in those early fights.
Yes. Mamoswine, of course, we've already seen it in game number 1 of our previous set, a tough Pokemon to hit that level break point of level 9. Once it gets there, though, a force to be reckoned with and a great individual lockdown Pokemon. I like playing Pokemon like this quite a bit. They're some of my favorite ones that were... overall crowd control, to the group as a whole, they're not as exceptional at, but the individual lockdown potential is all there for Mamoswine. They have group picks as well, like in terms of Icicle Crash, but still those individual high horsepower plays, I think, are where you see the true skill diff in Mamoswine players.
I have the tendency to agree. However, on the other side of TTV, you got old Zugrug, one of the most aggressive defenders out there, and they're going to get their Snorlax, their day one BFF right out, and we're going to see a lot of heavy slam secures if this is anything like the Zugrug we know and love. And an Alolan Ninetales. Alolan Ninetales, very interesting.
Otter's got to be playing, right? I don't know. Not many other players could convince anyone that it's going to be Alolan Ninetales is viable or a decent pick, but hey, Rapid Fire Scarf is in the game and has changed the game for a few Pokemon. Alolan Ninetales definitely getting the buff there, or a Veil combination. That's just the unchecked move attack speed that a lot of other Pokemon suffer from. Alolan Ninetales not too hampered by that when in that buff, so the icy ability of TTV is going to be exceptionally strong. Snorlax Alolan Ninetales lane, that is a tough path to deal with. Early, for sure.
Yeah, the kids call that obnoxious.
Yeah, yes,
and that's exactly what they're planning to be, is obnoxious. The fact that Snorlax doesn't have to hit an evolution to get a power spike, it's super strong early, means that they can feed Otter, this Alolan Ninetales, all the experience it needs to tick to level 4, and really use that to start Avalanche, the entire lane into the face of Spinal.
Yes. Here at Unite Mics, we absolutely our own jokes.
Well, as a dad and a corny joke connoisseur, I'm going to shell out a couple of them.
Oh my gosh. First, all the casters were telling me I need a mustache. Now they're going to start telling me I need to have kids? This is absurd. I can't keep up.
Listen, you live your own life, Zoinks. We love you.
All right, good. Spinal selecting the Mew and the Mr. Mime. So we were going all tank all day on the side of Spinal. Mew maybe not in that category, but it is bulkier than you think. I will say that about Mew.
Yeah, and you mentioned it before. It has great escape tools. It's Surf. It's Electro Ball. Is not necessarily a good escape tool, but it's a good tracking tool to kind of deal the last amount of damage. But most importantly, it's Unite move, which gives it essentially a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, and a good one at that, right? I mean, you have it also does damage for some reason. It provides invisibility. It's a very, very strong move, like we mentioned. Right now in this game, the Mew selection from Spinal I think is really strong. However, one part of the Mew kit is its versatility. The ability to swap your moves at any time you want, and in fact doing so actually helps out your other move cooldowns. I don't think Surf and Electro Ball are going to be seeing too much play so far into what TTV is building. Honestly, It seems like you could just stick to the Solar Beam guns and feel good for most of the game.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Electro Ball, though, does play pretty well into Sableye. You can turn invisible while you run away. Electro Ball's still going to find you.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for each one of those moves to be used. Specifically because the Surf is more used as a retreating tool, just because of how much ground it can cover. It can get you out. It does deal reasonable damage. Oh, come on.
You're saying mad about this pick. Let me show you the next one. We got the Gardevoir here for TTV to round it out.
So, let's see. Is Retsu going to be on the Greedent there, and Lutano going to take the Gardevoir to the center?
I think it'll be flipped if those two players are what are picking up those Pokemon. I think they would probably swap that order around. I know Lutano has played their fair amount of the Squirrel in that top path, so I think they would probably remain there, and Retsu would bring in the Gardevoir to Central area. I don't know, though. The versatility of these players is definitely one of the strongest assets that TTV has. I mean, they have been playing the game for a long time and played multiple roles, played with very similar players, but they have seen their fair share of both Thea, Sky Ruins, and Remote. So they are well within their capabilities to be playing different roles and different Pokemon.
Yeah, Retsu being added to the squad, who is certainly a jack of all trades, but somehow also an all-star in every single role they step in, which is wild to consider based on, another player that's qualified for the Pokemon Unite World Championships, and at the time was playing support. And before that, they were the top path player. Now they might hit Central, or they might go to top path. Lutano, top path player, might be jumping into Central. So a lot of malleability in their squad and ability to throw different looks, which is great for them. Spinal, taking Decidueye, and Yeet fans on Spinal. Yeah, we're going to say Yeet on the bird.
I have to assume if Yeet is playing on Spinal, which I can't confirm or deny right now, but I do believe they are, then yes, absolutely, Yeet's got to play this bird. They made it famous. They made it look good, and honestly, I think they put it into a tier of its own. Yeah, Yeet is playing the bird. Okay, cool.
Yeah, without a doubt, shades of Nemesis of last season, of course. With that Surf Greninja and our trio on the Greedent, which was its own just absolute, it was its own nightmare. And honestly, it run roughshod against a lot of UCS events. So, I mean, that's the epitome of pioneering a brand new strategy to great success. So kudos to them, and I'm excited to get that flashback of Yeet fan on the bird.
Red Love on the Mamoswine. I have seen them picking up a lot more defenders recently. Triple damage Mamo with a potion. I like that being showcased. Zugrug on their iconic exclamation mark Snorlax. Focus Band, Buddy Berry, Experience Share. And Otter has definitely convinced the entire team that they are going to be playing a little Ninetales triple damage. But you're right. Lutano, Retsu, swapping it up a little bit. Retsu on the Greedent, Lutano on the Gardevoir.
Yeah, and this might be an opportunity, a growth opportunity, right? This is a heavyweight matchup, and you really have to see how far you've come. And is Lutano really going to be your central area player going into season 2 of the UCS? So this is a great litmus test to see the progress they've made on a unique Pokemon. There might be some unique looks that they can throw into the face of Spinal. So what a good opportunity here just to see how far you've come.
Yeah, very, very true. Well, game number 2 of Unite Mike's Mayhem Week 3 is kicking off now. The teams are getting after it already. Yeet headed into the central area. A Sableye cruising through the central area to the other side. Ender fancies themselves a little bit of the opponents, whereas Retsu's just chilling in path.
Yeah, Ender going across the map, but Lutano, they're not in the central, they're in the bottom path. They're letting Otter take everything in the middle as Ender's just looking to get onto Yeet Van's back and just cause just enough static so they can go get some of their stuff. They've already got 5 AOS energy. Are they going to look to score? They're going to look to be an absolute Dennis the Menace. And it looks like it's Mr. Wilson going to be on the chopping block. Dennis the Menace mode has been activated.
Dennis the Menace, Gremlin, Krampus maybe because of recent times. I don't know, it's tough to come up with an avid name for this Sableye every single time. Red buff is stolen though. They're going to hit that level 4. Yeet fan already hitting level 4 thanks to that blue buff they secured on their own, and they are going to get the knockout onto Sableye. I believe so. But they are going to get the knockout eventually, I have to imagine. They're not.
No,
That's insane.
I can't believe Ender made it out of that. Are you kidding me? Absolute highway robbery there from TTV, and Ender has to be happy. Already level 4 with the experience share. And then you have Otter level 5. I'm trying to keep an eye on where Lutano is. Have they gone back to the middle? They've rolled upstairs. We're doing tons of fighting up here as Retsu's heating up. They get a KO. Otter gets a KO, and now we're just pushing into the face of Spinal. And poor Yeet fan was hoping to be able to get some free dunks, but now they're sitting on the goal zone wondering where the rest of the squad is.
Greedent doesn't even really need to be rolling in damage when they just lock them up in place. They just kind of teeter-totter their way through the enemy team and get a load of damage. Retsu just gets them lined up for them and lands a huge couple of damaging blows. Ender again just making life so difficult for Yeet. Red Love there for the backup now. Astonish is their only available hunt down Sableye tool right now. No Shadow Sneak quite yet for this Pokemon, which of course is a great find the invisible target move.
Yeah, there's no doubt game 2, there's no way a Sableye makes it into that game. No matter who wins
Absolutely
this one,
not.
there's no chance they give Ender that, or TTV gives Spinal that. Ooh, big time KO. Blue coming through, scary indeed. They get a KO. Azumarill gets a KO on Zugrug, and now Spinal's finding their groove a little bit. Is that Curly is getting points in the background, and they're starting to grow pretty quick. They're already level 6, Zoinks.
Yeah. Oh, no way. Light screen into confusion into a Mew. Boosted auto locks that Sableye up, and a big KO swings to the direction of Spinal. Now they have a 4-on-1, or 4-on-2, thanks to Otter being the backup on this bottom tier goal zone.
Yeah, and they're trying to fight Zugrug, taking a ton of damage as they're moving through. Azumarill might get some points, and Twist is going to try and convert on someone. Can they get a wall up just in time? As Enable engages, they do get a KO. A nice little confusion blast sorts that out. Red Love gets the Snorlax. Mew gets the Snorlax. And now they're getting all the birds in the middle just in time for another basement Reggie to populate, and it's up to the Curlia and the Sableye to find their way in. As here comes Retsu on the Squirrel. They're going to get some points in, and they're going to see what they can do. But no, Spinal, Yeet Fan sorting it out. You can't take anything out from under me. Lutano is dusted. Zugrug goes for the engage. They chunk the damage, but a nice Icicle Crash is going to keep Zugrug at bay, and Yeet Fan's going to get out, live another day.
That means so many situations like that, right? Asnable on this Azumarill went down to a sliver of HP when it was only Zugrug contesting. TTV really spacing out their own team members, trying to go after multiple objectives, whereas Spinal flipping that strategy on its head, being a wrecking crew of a team of 5 after every single objective. It got themselves the first Reggie, and it's putting themselves in a pretty good position for the second one, too.
Yeah, it looks like the Mew is hunting down the Sableye. Ender gets taken out, no question. Spinal playing pretty far forward. Red Love looking for the engage. A little high horsepower into the Decidueye Unite, and that sorts them out. They get a KO on the Gardevoir. Now Zugrug's getting chunked. Now they're scoring. Otter comes up, tries to cough some icy breath on him. You can see your own breath, but you're going to get snuffed out by that solar beam in the sun. No question. Otter still uses their snow globe, but they're still standing. They get dusted. Here's Zugrug. They're trying to push the squad back and buy some time, but they are getting chipped up too hard. As Enable sorts them out. As Enable gets KO back the other way, and it's Lutano time as they use the Unite move, and they actually catch Yeet Fan big time KO. That's 2 down, and they're looking for more. Ender's on the backside. Twisted sorts them out, but here's Retsu trying to do as much as they can in the face of 2 players. Retsu's still holding it down. Twisted gets their points in that goal zone at 11, and Spinal is looking good.
Looks like Retsu is there to stop the bleeding, but seriously, Spinal coming away with every single advantage. A Unite move from Lutano also doing its own favors, but Yeet Fan actually traded in that situation. Ender takes too much damage to out-sustain, and Snorlax has to use block just to keep up in the battle. Retsu launches in with the Berry Belly Flop, gets a KO, and looks for a second. Red Love goes down, thanks to incredible cooperation play.
Yeah, and Lutano's really working in tandem with the rest of the squad. Now that they're level 10, they're feeling an opportunity that they can get some KOs. Twisted, though, playing so far forward, looking to open up some purchase for Scary Blue, and they use the Mew Unite. They're see if they can convert. Retsu gets real low. That Shadow, excuse me, that Stitch finds its mark as they get the KO on the Greedent. Twisted's trying to hold up, and there's another Zugrug block just back into the goal zone to try and buy time. Red Love not buying it. Icicle Crash, high horsepower, freezes both. They're caught on the backside, though, and they're taking a ton of damage. Is that going to be the Twisted opportunity to score? No, but Spinal is all over this Regieleki. Can Ender make a move? It's Zugrug, of course it is. Why wouldn't it be a Zugrug heavy slam procuring another objective for the squad? As Ender is mad low, Yeet Fan eyes them up, just misses. Zugrug stomping on that bird smush chicken, no question. Regieleki going into the zone, but can Spinal stop it, or the pressure too big? They're gonna block it, and it might go in. The Frozen on the Icicle Crash sorts that out. Scary Blue's trying to find Snorlax. That's a Snorlax Unite. Red Love is just smashing into the Snorlax as they're trying to keep this Regieleki out, but here comes Lutano, chip shot, sorts it, and that Regieleki's gonna hit, and that's another KO. Greedent as the Greedent gets a KO, and the Decidueye gets a KO and Sableye.
So many points just went in. That was a 40 points in the bottom path, 40 points in the top path, and then Zugrug throws another 40 into that second tier goal zone. Never count TTV out of it, folks. They are just too exceptionally coordinated in this one. They pull back this lead, and they get the Regirock in the bottom path. You saw how Ender's presence just made it so difficult for Spinal in that last team fight to even try to rip the Regieleki. The fact that Confuse Ray is available and can steal that objective away from you and take all of your hard work at a moment's notice, it's just too much for them to deal with. Now we're almost at the 3-minute mark, and TTV is getting their lead and climbing.
Yeah, we just saw Retsu use the berry belly flop and didn't even need to start burping because the belly flop sorted out Yeet Fan real quick. And now more points have gone in as TTV is up on this one, 292 to 208. They're looking good. They're about parity on levels. We see Red Love struggling a little bit, just ticking over to level 10, but that's fine for your defender player. So TTV is looking to take as much of an advantage of this point lead as they can, as Hinder's just running and getting more points in.
Wow, a call out Spirit Shackle right there. That timing was amazing. They were invis when they hit that arrow, so great shot from Yeet. Solar Beam lines up, does a lot of damage, tries to keep Twisted up. Twisted is confused, Raid brought back into the match, but they are still able to get away.
As Enable with the engage, they're going to see if they can convert on Retsu. They do with the Decidueye in tandem. That is nasty business. And here comes the Snow Globe from the Alolan Ninetales as they're trying to square this thing up. 2 players down for TTV, 3 players down. They're trying to get another one. They got one revenge KO, but it's Regieleki that sorts out the Mew. And Lutano and Otter see blood in the water. They're going to see if they can convert. Icicle Crash by Red Love gets a player down on TTV, and Lutano has nothing left in the tank. Can Red Love convert? No, they cannot. They get snuffed out by the Miss Cleo Psychic Blast to the grill.
Psyshock does a lot of damage, especially when you're a slow Mamoswine trying to escape. The pathing there, exceptional from Lutano. Every single instance of that damaging move hits. Now, Spinal, no positioning around the Rayquaza pit whatsoever. TTV spread out trying to defend every single angle they can.
Ender's Chunk, they're going to see if they can find an opportunity to go, I was going to say go score, but they have no points. Very interesting. As maybe they're just causing havoc, right? TTV can't see that they don't necessarily have any points, but that's 70 going in. That ain't a bad crop of points as TTV's just bubbling out and they're kind of leashing Spinal along. Spinal actually needs to pivot here and make a decision as Enable's completely pinned the Alolan Ninetales, getting a KO on the Mew, and now TTV is up on players. They don't really have any anxiety to do anything because they're just getting more KOs and they're up on points. They're finding that Mamoswine that uses its Unite move, but Red Love is getting low. They're seeing if they can convert. Mr. Mime is coming down, and that's a Decidueye Unite that they're trying to find and get in the middle of, but Retsu dives in with a Berry Belly Flop, and they're going to see if they can convert on that. They can't. Ender's getting caught out. Twisted's pinned with the huge block. 3 players down for Spinal. TTV is just alive and kicking here, and Yeet Fan's going to try and hold it up, but with that shield and Zugrug throwing in some points, no question that is going in, and see if we can get a couple hundo burgers, and it looks like Otter's going to get the first one.
See, Alolan Ninetales is good. It worked out in that favor. Another hundo burger from Lutano there in the home goal zone. Not quite, coming up a little bit short of slider, if you will, from Retsu, but TTV with a great game number 1 win. Individual plays across the board really set that one up, but I think the splitting of Spinal's offense there was so huge. No one could get to the backline of Lutano thanks to the constant disruption of Retsu, Ender, and Zugrug. Just great play to push and pull the enemy team in every single direction, and in the end, it's going to get them a game number 1 win and set this thing off in their favor.
I mean, what a look by TTV. They were down just a hair early, found an opportunity after losing that first basement Reggie, able to turn it on its head and find their way back into it. And after that, put the pressure on, keep the foot on the gas pedal, go, and leave Spinal struggling to find their own foothold as they're just reeling from that pressure. Great look by TTV, and it really happened, in my opinion, once Lutano was able to show up to that top path with that Unite move at level 10 and really start swinging those fights with the Gardevoir's huge damage caps.
Yeah, very, very true. Also, I realized I just put something in front of the screen. Sorry for the black screen, everybody watching at home, but I don't think there was anything too important to be showcasing. Great game there from TTV. Yeet Fan put up pretty impressive numbers. I'm looking at them now. I realize none of you can see them, but 93,000 damage there from the Decidueye. Obviously, Yeet Fan can kill it on the bird. You're headed into game number 2. You mentioned it, I think, 2 seconds into the game. Probably no way Sableye makes it into a second game, right?
No. No. You can't do that. Come on. You can't just give Ender a Sableye. You can't give anyone on Spinal a Sableye, to be quite honest. The axis within which you have to play the game when Sableye is involved is so counterintuitive, and it's so annoying that, you
Yeah.
know what, just take it out of the equation, make everybody, I keep calling it, have everybody play heads up with all their cards on the table. When Sableye involved, it's like you have it's like playing a game of Clue instead of playing a game of Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
It's like, where's the Sableye? What weapon are they using? What room they in? You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
like they're gonna just gut you in the worst way possible with the wrench, with the rope, with the gun, with the knife. They're coming for you. Sableye is a mean menace, and I don't want to see any of it.
Yes, I can agree. I think some degree at the very least. That was pretty graphic, but I think you are correct. I think Sableye an incredible meta defining Pokemon, which is wild too. I think it's just a Pokemon that got better in draft format as well. Mostly, the only evidence I have is just to other tournaments that are not running draft mode right now. Sableye's
Sure.
definitely fallen off in competitive success. I'm still seeing its fair amount of play, but on winning compositions, it's not usually finding a home there. Draft mode is a different story, though. Sableye
True.
is putting in work time
Hmm.
after time. So, yes, these teams are just going to be heading into lobbies very, very quickly here. We're going to head into draft in a moment. Just Spinal is going to have the choice if they want first or second ban headed to the last game. Last time TTV had the choice and they picked first ban. If you were in the shoes of Spinal, are you adopting that first ban slot, or are you going to stick with that second ban, kind of guide the ship a little bit more with the last ban before picks?
No, I like in this particular format because you can put the other team on forcing the ban the Sableye. We see what happens when you don't. Fun fact though, for those of you at home, the board game Clue, ages 8 and up.
Okay. All
Play
right,
Zoinks.
fine.
So I didn't
I'll
say
stop
anything too
flavoring.
out of
Yeah,
pocket here.
yeah.
Didn't say anything too out of pocket there. So here we go. If I'm Spinal, I want first ban. Honestly, I probably take Blissey. It's essentially exactly what you want to do. You want to put TTV on having to ban the Sableye out from either under themselves, or you give Spinal the opportunity to take the Goblin Menace into Thea Sky Ruins.
Yeah, that is true. Well, they are going to be giving it over towards them because we have a Blissey ban from Spinal to kick things off.
Yep. So I'm expecting TTV to ban Sableye, and then we'll see some good jockeying back and forth as Spinal has the opportunity to take perhaps Dodrio out from under TTV. That's maybe something that I'd be looking to do.
Yeah.
Or TTV, what they might do as a little bait and switch action if they think that Dodrio is the answer to the Sableye, or they think they can play around it, they might ban something else and put Spinal into the position, hey, you either give us Sableye on the hop with another pick, or you take it out from under us, when in reality what we wanted was something like the Dodrio.
Well, that was fun, but Sableye is the ban.
Fair enough.
I can't cut you off mid-breakdown, but yes, Sableye is going to be the ban for TTV. Now, Spinal gets one selection. They are this is going to be their first time on this side of the choosing. Only one pick can be a dangerous one, but Blissey and Sableye have been the selections. You were suggesting a Dodrio pick here to, serve a couple of things. One, a great Pokemon onto your own squad. Pretty sure Yeet Fan can play Dodrio quite well. Don't know that for sure. Mostly just an educated guess. But it does take away Lutano's ability to play Dodrio. Being said, their Gardevoir, once they hit that level 9 peak, was looking pretty fresh.
Yeah, any day you give Lutano the choice between Dodrio and Gardevoir, they're going to choose Dodrio every single time. And the reason is it plays a little bit more of a fair Sableye game. So there you go. Spinal, on the other hand, feared the Dodrio so much they banned it last time instead of Sableye. So it'd be confusing if they didn't choose Dodrio now and just gave it to TTV for free with another pick. And it looks like Spinal, Red Love wants that Mamoswine. They think that's the difference maker here. I would be shocked if we don't see Dodrio in one of these first two picks.
Yeah, I think TTV should absolutely be locking that down. And since Mamoswine was already selected, you can probably forego the Snorlax until a later pick as well, if that is what you want to be running right now in this metagame, which obviously Zugrug Snorlax is never a bad take, I think. Even when that Pokemon falls off a little bit, if there's something as broken as Mr. Mime, which still pretty good if you wanted to pick up the Mr. Mime here.
Zug's getting the last pick, I think. I mean, if they choose Mr. Mime, sure, but I think that's the only exception you could really draw up. Otherwise, that last TTV slot is going to be chosen either Snorlax, Slowbro, whatever's left over, because that's the good thing about the defender pool in Pokemon Unite, yes, there's a pseudo tier list, but after you get really past Mamoswine, everything else is kind of interchangeable in some form or fashion, based on what your other picks are, which is what's nice. So.
Well, Snorlax is their first pick.
They would have gotten that. They would have gotten that with a discount coupon for free at the Goodwill. Last pick, no question. Now, the fact that Mr. Mime goes in and Spinal has the opportunity for the Dodrio, I am confused. Honestly, I'm not sure what's going on.
Maybe Dodrio's not good. Maybe Dodrio's bad. Maybe we've been baited by so many ban after ban after ban. No one's got practice on this Pokemon, so no one's comfortable bringing it into game.
Zoinks.
I don't know.
We saw what Clash could do when they had the Dodrio. We saw that. They went in. They went in.
Yeah, they went in quite a bit.
You saw what Cheese could do with the Dodrio. They went in. We've seen what Lutano in this tournament structure can do on the Dodrio. They've gone. I mean, it's a good Pokemon, and it's a menace. So I would love to see Spinal pick it up. Play it in the face of TTV, see what kind of damage you can do with it.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, like we mentioned, Yifan could play it, but the Decidueye was looking pretty good last time. I like the double range damage that that's both a Mew and a Decidueye in tandem can do. I think it's pretty cool. Like, the strategy worked very, very well in multiple situations. In game number 1, it looked great. Into the double tank pick, I think it looks even better sometimes. But who knows? Spinal are the one that have to lock in their next 2 picks. They already have a tank slot selected. I liked Aznable's Azumarill. I could definitely see that pick going in one of these 2 slots.
Yeah, Azumarill looked great. I think you get it. I think this is a good spot to take it, for sure. If that's what you want to build your squad around, without a doubt. I wouldn't mind seeing a Delphox on either one of these teams. I think that's just a really good, solid Pokemon. Tons of damage, high damage cap. And there you go. You see Spinal picking that Azumarill and a Slowbro. They're getting girthy up front, Zoinks.
It really has kind of become the meta, at least so far today. So much bulk and tankiness is what players are going after. And then you can afford to have 1 or 2 of your damage carries be that glass cannon, thanks to just so many road bumps on the way to those Pokemon. It can be a little bit easier to defend. Also, shout out to the greatest of all time, Spraggles. Thank you so much for the massive raid. Raiders from Spraggles channel, we are watching right now Unite Mike's Mayhem week number 3. This is the last week before the finals, which is actually happening tomorrow, where these teams are going to be competing in one final night for Unite Mike's Mayhem season 2.
Yeah, shout out to Spraggles, of course. The Hisuian Doob Snacks, aka Spraggles. Appreciate you being here. Unite Mike's Mayhem rolls on. I just want to say, while we've got all these folks in here, if you sub or Amazon Prime sub to Unite Mike's, we do have an emote initiative. We donate all the money at each month to a different cause every month. So know that your Bezos bucks are going to a good cause, and you unlock all our emotes, of course, which I will throw in the chat real quick. But let's take advantage of all the folks while they're here, Zoinks. No question about it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everybody is going to be a really exciting night you're tuning into. Of course, you can see them on the screen. TTV is going up against Team Spinal, 2 storied teams. Spinal with a bit of a new look, but definitely familiar faces on them. Yeetfan and Aznable finding their way into this team, as well as, of course, Red Love and oh gosh, I'm forgetting the last 2 members of the team, but they are fantastic players. I promise you. All right, the next selections for TTV have been locked in. Gardevoir again. However, Lucario is also being selected. Does Retsu return to his roots? Does Lutano pick up the Pokemon that I always get their names confused? Who knows?
Yeah, for the sake of my mental, I hope Retsu's on Lucario, but I think I've cast so much Lutano on Lucario that I might just duff it up anyways. But after that Gardevoir performance, I'd like to think that Lutano is going to be back on that, and TTV is going to get that A9 for free if they want it.
Yeah. What has Otter got cooked up is a question that I think we're going to be having to ask ourselves quite a bit, as we go forward into season 2 with Otter playing on TTV for the while. I saw somebody asking for the roster in chat for TTV. Yeah, currently playing tonight is going to be Otter, Retsu, Inder, Zugrug, and Lutano. is going to be their squad.
You almost said Lucario.
Every time, literally every single time. All right, Greninja being selected as well as Decidueye.
I was gonna say, is this the Greninja? Is this the Decidueye Greninja combo that was made famous by these players? And that makes the heavyweights that they've got sitting up front make a lot more sense now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you even have a Azumarill to just Aqua Tail, get things down to that squishier level of HP that Surf can just run across their way through. Also, is this the first hype train that Unite Max has ever had?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't know how this works.
I don't know what a hype train is.
All right, it just means a bunch of people subbed and used bits. So thank you so much, everybody, for the newfound generosity. Just a reminder, anything donated towards the channel goes directly towards charity every month. Check out the Twitter feed to see the receipts. But yeah, Unite Max Mayhem, obviously, we are cruising along. This is game number 2, by the way. TTV does have a 1-game advantage headed into this next one, and the winner of this is going to play the winner from the previous game. Dark Aura is patiently awaiting their next combatant as TTV and Spinal are competing
real
right
quick
now.
While we've got everybody's ears, let's bend them for a second. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we've got our winners finals between Clash South America West. There you go, got it right. Clash South America West United Championship Series representatives. She's South America East United Championship Series representative. Ascended Pokemon Unite World Champions, and the winner of this event tonight punches their ticket into there. So tomorrow night is going to be an absolute barn burner too. But here we go. I told you to get the A9 for free. Was there going to be any doubt? Was there going to be any doubt?
Oh, you're saying Alola Ninetales is not good, and maybe people won't be picking it up?
No. What I'm saying is, Otter gets it free last.
Yes, you are correct. Otter has convinced their team for a second game in a row that Alola Ninetales is not F tier and is going to be selecting it. We saw some big snow globe maneuvers, though. The Unite move was coming in clutch. It felt more like a survival / get off me tool, but it still was popping off. We are headed into match, though. I am going to have to switch these names around. One day, these teams will learn what I like.
Maybe we should make it in the rules or something. Here we go. But I will say, Otter's first snow globe looked a little sus because they got stitched in the forehead immediately and went down. But everyone after that was very crisp. Was a great. It actually engaged very well in the top path when Otter was able to get a KO in tandem with Lutano on the Gardevoir when they were pulling up. So. After that first one, they just got the bad one out of the way early, and then after that, it was all roses.
Yes, Gamma, I absolutely want you to write the rules for me because everyone's assuming there's some kind of rule book or somewhere where it's just a Discord DM from me with everything I can think of to put in there. So that's all it is. Zugrug on the Mr. Mime here as Ender is going to be picking up the Snorlax. This Snorlax is equipped with an X-Speed as well as, I believe, an Experience Share and some other items. You can tell it's not a Zugrug Snorlax because there is no pool floaty surrounding that Pokemon, just as a fun little inside baseball around this Pokemon selection. But I am looking forward to see a lot of invade strategy off the start of the game from Ender. Decidueye, a Pokemon that really struggles when invaded, not very much last hit secure. The basic attacks, all they really got to work with at the start of that game. Leafage is nothing to write home about in terms of secure. So TTV is going to want to put on the pressure in all points of the map early, but specifically in that central.
We're going to see if Ender's going to go for the invade and we do like a 1-1-3 type of situation, or a 1 invade 1-2. However that breaks itself down. I'm sure I got it right somewhere. Otter and Zug, though, melting this squad down, and they're going to be a pretty good duo here as Twisted has to play and watch for Ender coming across, and they do. They're already throwing in some chimp shots as Ender's trying to pick up Scary Blue, collapsing on Ender, and they've got them at about 2/3 HP, half HP real early. Twisted doing a good job keeping an eye on Ender, not letting him pull any of those Sableye shenanigans from game 1.
Yeah, I like this play for Twisted because, I mean, yeah, they're not accomplishing much doing HP damage into a giant health pool like Snorlax, but Snorlax is not getting a whole lot accomplished either. At the same time, a bit of a handshake for these two defenders, but hey, when you could come up and water gun secure a mid farm, I'll take it. Great play there from Twisted to get constant value.
One of slow poke's best tools early game is that water gun that you can charge up and just burst stuff down. Very good in the early laning phases, of course. As Spinal's hanging around these bees, we got the Aqua Tails flying around. We're gonna see what they can secure. It looks like some amount in the face of 2-on-3 here, as Lutano is immediately peeling down into the central here to get onto those ball toys that populate in the middle.
Lutano has got to be taking away their central on cooldown. It needs to happen. Corellia does absolutely nothing in any kind of team fight. Finds Redlove, though, able to spot them in that bush. Much just saw them enter in there in the first place. Redlove looking to see if they can steal away a blue buff, but still a level 5 Corellia will hurt, but Redlove is notorious. They are going to be hanging out around this blue buff looking for the theft no matter how long it takes.
Yeah, we're going to see if they're playing Potion. They are. We saw that proc right there. They fired that battle item off, and they're still working on this Aselgor, but it looks like Lutano, despite the best efforts of Redlove, are going to get that. But look where Spinal is. They're getting all the birds in the middle for free. They're bubbling out Otter. Redlove sitting in the bush. They're going to get KO'd, but they leashed the attention of TTV away from the birds, which is important. But here comes TTV roaring back. They're doing tons of damage. They're finding Asenable, and Asenable goes down. They're going to have a Surf by Twister. They're going to try and hit the goal pad and get some of that HP. Can they catch a berry? They do, but here comes the rest of the squad. Big heavy slam from Ender buys time, and Redlove and Twisted are trying to find their way in. Zugrog's going to try and peel a little bit, and now Curlia is getting online. They find that Redlove that they were chipping into earlier. They finally get the KO there. Twisted with the Surf to buy time, but that's a TTV exchange that they'll take any day.
Not a huge overdunk in that situation, but still breaking that goal zone early. I like it. Makes it that tougher to contest the bottom Reggie against their squad. Scary Blue has hit level 8. A lot more damage going to that Pokemon, especially against level 5 Snorlax. I wanted to mention quickly, TTV shaking up their strategy a lot since game 1. In game number 1, that first round of Midbirds, only Zugrug was available to fight in that section, whereas 4 members from Spinal were there. This time around, we saw a full-on 4v4 fight in that situation.
Oh, absolutely clutch. You saw the high horsepower by Redlove go in, and Yeet Fan clutch out the basement Reggie for the squad, and now they're turning that on a heel, on a dime into the face of TTV. They get 3 KOs, and they're pushing forward, and that's a KO streak of 2 for Scary Blue.
And that's a 38-point overdunk for Scary Blue as well. Looking good. Big Unite move there to splash a lot of damage, and then the KO 2 in a row from Surf. I love the collats coming out of these players. Yeet Fan with a great secure, though, onto the Reggie steal as well. Yeet Fan is finally hit that level 9, so if they want to siege this goal zone, they do have the Knock Knock, one of the only things Knock Knock is actually good for.
Yeah, also we saw the Decidueye take the Aselgor buff out from under TTV because of its range, and only Ender was there to babysit it here, but secured by Gardevoir, and now they're pushing. They're going to see if they can convert on the squad. Tons of damage being shelled out. Ender goes down. They're trying to find the next one, and they're trying to find opportunity. As Enable with the big time engage on the Lucario, and they get KO'd, but it's still Lutano keeping the squad in it. They get a KO as Enable on the chase. Lutano at half HP. They're going to see how many birds they can get, as Spinal is easily taking care of this Regieleki, and TTV might be throwing their attention somewhere else.
Spinal's doing pretty solid focus fire, but the little fires everywhere kind of strat that TTV is doing is a bit too much for them to handle. Even if they lock down one target, it seems that Regieleki is still going to find value elsewhere. Lutano gets a pretty decent overdunk and gives themselves a sizable lead now. 219 to 133, but a re-engage there from Greninja.
Otter's low, but the Greninja gets sorted. Scary Blue, no question. They catch a close combat. Too many punches to the grill. Rocky Balboa. Gardevoir sorts out the next 2, and there's 3 players now for Spinal. Where they had such a potential advantage to tip the scales in their favor is just absolutely washed in their face with that Regieleki hitting the goal zone, and Lutano able to hold it down in the face of multiple Spinal players there in that top path push.
His bottom Reggie really seems like to be the only major source of experience that Spinal has been able to find, seeing as a level 13 Gardevoir already exists, whereas Greninja has only sat at this level 11.
They completely sussed out Ender, but that forced out the Unite move. Gardevoir there to pivot, and Redlove is dusted. Now they're trying to get onto this Slowbro, and it's getting chipped in, but it has tons of HP, and it gets sorted out because the Gardevoir deals just that much more. Huge Unite catches Scary Blue into the middle. Tons of damage goes out as Enable's finding and getting it shredded. KO streak of 3. Decidueye kicks back on Ender, but it's all TTV, all in this bottom path. Basement Reggie is theirs. Lock it up, lock it in, stitch it up, and Redlove showing up just a day late, dollar short. They're going to get dusted if they keep staying up here. They're trying to get just a consolation Retsu here, but Otter's not letting them off the chopping block, and there's Retsu to close the door, sending that mammoth back to the prehistoric era.
And I'm starting to do the math here, figuring out why Lutano is not just getting insta-targeted every single time on this Gardevoir. The Alolan Ninetales Aura Veil actually starting to pop off in this game. The defensive stats that it gives are incredible, and a nice shutdown there on the Decidueye. Retsu finds a way to sneak in that power-up punch, get a big knockout there from the Lucario.
Yeah, close combat, Pup Lucario out of Retsu is not something we've seen too often, but it's doing tons of work now, allowing the squad to have some good secure. Red Love getting anxious, getting into the face of the rest of the squad. They're catching a block, and that forces out the Unite move here as they want to at least collapse on one of these players. Otter's getting low. Is that a KO they can get? With Yeet Fan, they sure got a good opportunity here, but it's the Azunable, the Azumarill that sorts it out. Zugrug taking out the Mamoswine, but can Azunable get all over Zugrug? They're going to try and close the door on them. They do. And meanwhile, Lutano's taking care of the Regieleki. Azunable's heating up, KO streak of 2, 3 players out for TTV. That Regieleki is going straight to that second goal zone. I don't know if there's anybody there for Spinal to intercept it. They need to get there. They need to stop that thing, or else TTV is going to take themselves another goal zone. Scary Blue sorting out Lutano.
They do get knocked out. Low-key would have loved if they slowed down on that knockout and didn't immediately chase it. Tried to bait it out a little bit longer. Lutano on a giant respawn cooldown. So if they were able to slow down that knockout, not take it immediately, kind of play split, it would have been really fun. However, the knockout immediately does give Greninja some much-needed experience. Azumarill as well, getting a KO streak of 3. Yes, they gave up that Regieleki, but the Azumarill was hurting in the level department. That KO streak of 3 turns that around a little bit. You trade 1 point of value for another point. I like the decision. Spinal playing a heads-up play, even though they're playing from behind.
Yeah, they're playing from behind, but not by much. Yes, on the scoreboard, it's 130 difference, but the experience isn't as bad as you'd anticipate for the type of engagements we've seen so far. Red Love doing a great job keeping the team protected as they are able to close a goal zone here, and Lucario, Retsu sorting out the Regice for the TTV squad. I almost said Lutano. I knew he was going to duff me up. I knew he was going to duff me up. Rayquaza hits the map zone.
I actually thought Retsu was going to push there for a bottom cap. It seems that once they got intel of where the team members are, they are going to look for it a little bit. I don't know if they know that Mamoswine is defending that bottom tier goal zone. Red Love does not have eyes on Lucario yet. Great defensive play from them. Inder only at level 11, but is on that Snorlax. All you really need is 12. They finally get it. Zugrug locked down, but a Spirit Shackle's already been off cooldown.
Yeah, now Twisted gets chunked after the telekinesis. They were hoping to convert on that, didn't quite get there. Retsu's low. That's a big Red Love Unite, finding a bunch of players. Mime Unite follows suit, but it's the Snow Globe that sorts out their frosted counterpart here. Yeet Fan trying to pick up the Mr. Mime. They do. KO streak of 2 for this A9. Are you kidding me? For any doubters out there, you better check yourself, because there's 4 players now for Spinal. It's just Yeet Fan here to try to make some miracle plays, and they're getting sussed out very well by the rest of the TTV squad. And at this point, do you wonder if they're even going to turn on Rayquaza? They're only up by 29 points, Zoinks.
They must have some kind of intel. There we go. We're going to get another one, but it's only a small lead. Things are going to be scary. But with both top tier goal zones being broken, back halves are not an easily accomplished thing. They do have some small amount of points, though. I'd love to see Scary Blue play this one around, but it looks like Spinal needs the team fight with their composition. Zugrug, the first choice to be locked down yet again, but still Otter's just constant auto attacks are becoming a threat to deal with.
Ooh, they took care of it. That's a 30-second timer. That's huge. Spinal finding the opportunity. Gardevoir gets a KO back the other way. Is this the opportunity, though? 2 players down for TTV. They need to spin on it. They need to find it, and Zugrug's getting really low. Twisted trying to sort them out. They're trying to leash them. Azunable's hunting for another one. TTV down 3 players. It's a 4-on-2 here for Spinal. They got opportunity. They're starting to grip and rip, but Lutano's still standing. Scary Blue sees them. They're big time surfing in. They're trying to engage. They're trying to get the resets. Lutano's just low. Spinal's trying to find it. They're not going to be able to close the door on in time. They're not going to be able to score in time. Are you kidding me? They're getting duffed. They're getting scuffed up. Yeet Fan's got an opportunity, but they're getting blocked out, and TTV holds on to that razor-thin margin.
Incredible heads-up play to keep track of Yeet in that fight. Yeet playing for their only out that Team Spinal had, trusting their own team to knock out the Rayquaza, gets in position for a last-minute dunk, but it's not quite enough. TTV defends their victory and wins this one 2-0.
Jeez, slow climb and a flat line right at the end between these two squads. TTV holds on to their narrow 29-point lead to take down Spinal. What a show. I loved Scary Blue Yeet Fan on that Greninja Decidueye tandem. It looked so good, so fun, and I'm glad I got to harken back to Season 1 UCS a little bit, but here we go. Lutano putting the digits up there. 100K. 100K damage for Lutano, looking flossy.
6 digits for the man himself. The Guac Bowl never looked better. The Gardevoir popping off in that game. That final team fight was crazy too. It really turned from a team fight into a game of hide and seek where Scary Blue was the finder every single time. If you were in their vision, you were getting knocked out. Level 15 Greninja was too much to deal with. TTV had not a leg to stand on, but the clock was the biggest asset they had. Ender shows back up just in time to defend. They wouldn't have had the damage to break the shield of Heatfan, but block does the trick. Snorlax in draft mode is broken, folks. Incredible work from TTV.
You have to give credit to Retsu from preventing that last score as well. Bought just enough time for Ender to come back. Retsu was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at Yeet Fan to slow them down. Didn't do a lick of damage onto that shield it had, but it did slow Yeet Fan down from getting to that goal zone just enough time for Ender to crash land like a comet and throw up that block and seal up the win. What a game. What a game. And there's still more Unite Mike's Mayhem to come. Finals on the way. TTV, Dark Aura, don't go anywhere. You weren't ready for that.